It's kind of the story of the NFL. Carson Wentz, this former MVP candidate who's about to start his massive contract next year, has been benched for a second-round rookie. I mean, that's a disaster. At least it would be if it wasn't for the fact that Jalen Hurts is the better quarterback. I truly believe that. I think Jalen Hurts is really good. There's so many things he does well, and again, we don't have too much tape on him. We only have about half a game, but if he continues to play like he played for that half a game, he's easily the better quarterback than Carson Wentz, and I think that he gives the Eagles the best chance to win. So I wanted to get into why, and first I want to start off with his running ability. So this play isn't going to make very many Jalen Hurts highlight reels. In fact, it's not even a Jalen Hurts play. He just hands the ball off. It's going to be a run, and the blocking concept, I'm only showing 3 guys because that's all that's really important. You have your left tackle, left guard, and tight end all just have one-on-one matchups. And you also notice I've circled a Green Bay player on the top left corner of the screen. Why have I circled him? Because you would think that with this blocking concept, he should be unblocked. And that's true, he is going to be unblocked. But watch how when Hurts gives the handoff, he runs to the left side of the screen. And I mean, you notice right here, that Green Bay player is fully expecting, or at least prepared for, a Jalen Hurts run, which is smart. It's kind of what you have to do. But the problem is now everyone else is accounted for. And if Philadelphia can make these blocks, it can easily result in a first down run basically every time. Now, Green Bay did a good job of being able to make the stop, didn't result in a big gain, but that's just what Jalen Hurts is bringing to the table in the just traditional running game. Gap assignments become so much more important when you have a quarterback who will run with the football on designed runs. And so because of that, it can give you an advantage when you hand the ball off. Sort of like how, you think about Baltimore and Gus Edwards was kind of a nobody, and then he turns into this household name right when Lamar Jackson starting, because it just helps the running back out so much when you're taking away that extra defensive player. I also thought that he did a great job of knowing when to scramble. He didn't scramble for the sake of scrambling, he chose the right times, but at the same time, he wasn't too cautious in scrambling. I thought he was really good at choosing when to do it. Like on this one, it's a cover 3 zone. He has a receiver who's running a pretty good route against this type of coverage. I mean, this is definitely something that can work. It's his first read, and it makes sense. It's a good route against this coverage. So Hurts takes the snap. The offensive line does a pretty good job on this play, and also you look, and Hurts, he sees that his receiver, it's taking a long time for him to run this route, and there doesn't appear to be separation. Now, some players might still wait it out and just see if it gets open. I think Hurts is doing the right thing here of saying, okay, this isn't working. Let me just try to figure something out on my own. And also, I mean, just watch how good of a job he does on the move. He's able to make some moves and pick up a first down. Let's be honest. Let's compare that to what Carson Wentz would have done. Wentz very possibly would have still made that throw, which would have been dangerous, or he would have waited too long to decide not to make that throw, which would have probably resulted in a sack. And even if he did make the same decision that Hurts did to scramble, he wouldn't have done as good of a job at scrambling at that moment. So it's interesting how they play, because I kind of feel like Hurts is just sort of a better version of Wentz. This play is another good example where it's just going to be it's a cover 1 hole concept, so it's man coverage, and against man coverage, as a quarterback, you can do a really good job of running with the football because, 5 players are focused on just covering their man, meaning their back might get turned, they're not really focused on the quarterback, whereas in zone, everyone's supposed to look at the quarterback. So Hurts takes the snap, he takes a quick look around, but sees this man and kind of says, okay, I'll run with the football here, and that's what he does, and he's able to pick up a big gain. I like stuff like that. In man coverage, if you're a mobile quarterback, run with the football. You can do that. That's totally a reasonable thing to do. I think some people sort of use that as a negative of someone who's looking to run, but you don't have to look to run in the sense that that's what you want to do on every play, but you can always use it. I just like to think of it as another route on the field, basically. It's another option you have, and oftentimes it's the best option, so don't hesitate to use that option, just like you shouldn't hesitate to throw to an open receiver. But yeah, I mean, we kind of knew he was going to be a good runner coming out of college. That was never in question. The reason he fell to the second round was because of his throwing ability. People had concerns about it, but I never did. I don't really understand the concerns about his throwing ability, and I almost think that sometimes when you're a good runner, people sort of use that against you, and they assume that you can only do that, which obviously works a lot better in college than it does in the NFL. But I think he's a great thrower, and this game proved that to me. Like, let's start off with this one. It's going to be a one-on-one matchup, nothing too fancy. It's a zone coverage play, but it's going to end up being a one-on-one matchup with a go route, so that's where Hurts is going to look to throw. Hurts takes the snap. There's actually immediate pressure on a blitz, so he just has to get rid of the ball quickly, but it's a beautifully thrown ball. I mean, that's just perfect. I mean, you want to tell me that that guy doesn't have good arm talent? I mean, you can't ask for something better than that. Just an incredible play. He made some incredible reads too. Like, look at this one. What coverage do you think it is? When I was watching it, my first thought was, okay, it's probably a cover 1 blitz, right? There's 5 players on the line, which the Green Bay Packers like to play 3-4, so that's why. But it looks like it could be a cover 1 blitz, maybe a cover 1 hole. One of the linebackers will drop back into coverage. And then there's just man coverage all across the board. But that is not the case. It's actually cover 3 zone right here. It's a really fancy disguise, really clever disguise. It's, you can't even tell how it's supposed to be cover 3 just by looking at it, but it does end up being this coverage, which is actually not a bad thing for Philadelphia if Hurts is able to figure it out. Those are the routes that the 3 players to Hurts' right are running. You have 2 receivers who are going to run deeper routes, and this can kind of take away both the middle safety and the corner who's in charge of covering the bottom of the screen. So therefore, pretty much deep on that area will be open. So when Zach Ertz can sort of run underneath, still past the linebackers, but further deep, and the safeties are now pushed further back, this can definitely get open. Hurts takes the snap. He reads this play immediately and is able to make a throw to exactly where he should throw to. Now, it's possible he wanted to make that throw to Ertz anyways against the man coverage. It wasn't terrible against that type of coverage either. But either way, just a really impressive play, I think. I want to show this sequence. This was the most impressive sequence maybe we've seen a Philadelphia Eagles quarterback have this season. It was really impressive. It starts off with a 4th down and 8, so they need the first down right here. For Green Bay, they're going to be playing cover 3 on this one. Alshon Jeffrey's running a pretty good route. This can work against this type of coverage. It's also cover 3 zone blitz, so, Hurts isn't going to have a ton of time. It's a very interesting play, but this is definitely something that can work out. It's not a high percentage play, but it's an okay play. This play can work. Hurts takes the snap. He's going to step back, and he's going to make just a perfect throw to Jeffrey, who makes the grab exactly where only Jeffrey could get it. Really good throw. You see the flag that came down. It was eventually ruled offensive pass interference. I thought it was a bit weak, but there was a push-off. I get it, so I understand why they called it that way. And so now, you just converted a 4th down and 8. Now you have to try and convert a 4th down and 18. So then this play would happen. You see Green Bay, they're playing a deep zone coverage. Basically, the whole point is that they're trying to, take away right around that first down marker, because that's probably where Philadelphia is going to try and throw the ball to. And give Philadelphia credit, they have a pretty good idea of how to try and beat this coverage as best you can. This is a tough situation, 4th and 18. Essentially, what it's going to come down to is they have multiple receivers running deep routes, and since Green Bay only has 1 safety who's actually deep, there's other players who could potentially stay deep and take away that route. But really, the idea on this one is, since both the receivers who are running deep are lined up on the same side of the field, then the deep cornerback who's on the opposite side of the field might not notice this and might stay too shallow. And watch, Hurts takes the snap. There is pressure, so he's going to be able to actually get outside the pocket. So good job by him of noticing the pressure, getting outside the pocket. And you see he has 2 players who he could throw to. Now, actually, the more open guy is the one who is towards the top of the screen, but obviously that's a much more difficult throw since Hurts has gone outside the pocket to the bottom of the screen because he needed more time. But he still does have another option. The safety notices this. He's trying to crash in and trying to just take away this play, but there's definitely a window here. The problem is Hurts is on the run and it's 40 yards away. However, Hurts makes an absolutely beautiful throw. I mean, that's just perfect. I don't get how you can say this guy doesn't have the best arm talent when you watch plays like this. It's a thing of beauty, and they're able to get a touchdown. Just an awesome play. And again, sometimes it's all you have to say is he is awesome. I think Hurts can make some just jaw-dropping plays. Now, it has to be mentioned that it wasn't all good for Philadelphia and Jalen Hurts. I mean, a lot of the problems that the Eagles have, they're still going to have regardless of who's in quarterback. Their offensive line is still banged up. The receivers still struggle to get separation with the exception of Travis Fulgham. So those problems aren't going away, and there was maybe a couple more problems that Jalen Hurts brought to the table when he was playing. So this one is going to end up being a man coverage play. It's a cover 1 play, and you see Alshon Jeffrey. He's running a curl route that's going to get past the first down marker. Worth noting the situation here. This is just a first down and 10, but it's late in the game at this point. There's 4 minutes left, and Philadelphia is down 7. This is their opportunity to potentially tie the game, so this is the really important route here. Hurts takes the snap, and he is going to throw in that direction, but notice what happens. So at first, this might look like it's just a missed throw, right? But that's actually not exactly what happened. Hurts also got rid of this ball too early, so while it might have just been a missed throw and bad timing on him, what it probably was is that him and Jeffrey just weren't on the same page. Jeffrey thought he was supposed to cut a couple yards further, or maybe just Jeffrey got a little bit discombobulated with the contact and ran a couple yards further. And that's just kind of a, it's a chemistry thing. Hurts hasn't had a ton of first snap reps. Hurts hasn't played too much with Jeffrey, so they don't have that chemistry down yet. And you have to think if they've been playing all season, they probably get that completion and get a first down past the 50-yard line. This was where they ended up having to punt the ball away. They weren't able to get a first down here. So if they get that first down, maybe with a fresh set of downs, they're able to get all the way down the field, score a touchdown, and win the game. Probably not. Green Bay was the better team, but it definitely would have been possible. And that's a lot of what I like about Hurts, is that all of the mistakes I saw from his first game just seemed to be rookie mistakes or rookie first game mistakes. Honestly, backup mistakes you might even call, because they just didn't have the chemistry. So yeah, that's what I think of Jalen Hurts. I think he has a lot of talent, and I think a lot of what Carson Wentz does, Hurts does just as well, and he does some things that Wentz does poorly, not as poorly. He still kind of has similar flaws. They are similar players in a lot of ways, but I just think Hurts gives the Eagles the better chance to win now, and his potential is much higher. As for Wentz's contract, yeah, that really sucks, because you have this massive contract and you're not even starting that player. But, you can't fall into the sunk cost fallacy. You have to just play who the better player is, and they have a better chance of winning with Jalen Hurts. So, to me, this is clearly the correct decision. It might work out, it might not, but I think it's a smart call, and I like it. I think Hurts is really good, and I hope he proves me right. So yeah, that's what I think. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm always interested in hearing what you guys have to say, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.